Hello everyone, this is Wenjie Chao. In this video, let's talk about the lookout locations. It is a new feature that was added since 10.3.0. If you're still on an old version, consider upgrading it to the latest version from the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. The entry point to this feature is from Ephemer's page chooser. The Nav3 page belongs to the Location Explorer category, and the lookout locations is the second one among the three. This feature will help us to find faraway lookout locations. Why do we emphasize the far away? That's because if it's too close to the city, there will be too many buildings or trees that might block the view. It is almost impossible to find the locations using automated algorithm in the city area. That's why we want to do it far away. It's easier. We just scan elevation data to find out all these locations that you can see the city skyline or an area that you're interested in. And the main purpose of this feature is to discover great unknown camera locations where you can take a picture of a certain target. It could be a city skyline, or it could be a single target on top of the mountain or over in the lake. We can use this feature to discover some interesting locations with a unique composition. Here just one of the many ideas. You may have two iconic buildings in the city, and they're not close to each other, so it is kind of hard to put them together. But if you shoot from the faraway lookout locations, it is possible to have both in the same view. For example, the famous Thread and Needle location in San Francisco, or the Sky Tree and the Mountain Fuji in the same frame in Tokyo. And in New York City, you can get both Statue of Liberty and One World Trade Center in the same frame. All these compositions are possible because they are from faraway locations. Once you find these locations, then you can use it along with the Sun and the Moon Finder feature to decide a date if you want to add a moon or sun to the frame. This is a very famous location in Los Angeles. And this feature can be used to discover more locations like this one, but not many people know about it. Here I want to show you what it really looks like. This is the Google Earth, and on the bottom you see that's the Los Angeles downtown area with all these high buildings. And of course, if you're in the area like this, and as long as you have a clear view, you can see the downtown area. But that's not our focus. Our focus is find a location that is far away over here in the mountain area that you have a clear view. For that, the automatic algorithm works the best. And also, it doesn't necessarily always have to be in the city. This is the Yosemite Valley, and this is the Half Dome. Of course, you can see Half Dome from the valley area over here. But our interest is to find a location that is far away here or even further away. Now let's do some demos. In the first demo, I will use Los Angeles as an example. And here is the downtown area. You can see a bunch of markers we added already, which had 3D models. Let's change to lookout location page and take a look. First of all, just like alignment search, you still need to set the subject first. And in this case, you don't have to be that accurate. It could be any locations that in the area that is good enough. So I just set here to be my scene location. The next step is you set the target height. Again, you don't have to be accurate. So if the tallest building is 300, 400 meters, you just set like 200 meters. That's good enough. What matters here is the higher the number, the more result you will get. So I can adjust it later if I need it. The next parameter is elevation difference, which is the elevation difference between the lookout location and the Los Angeles downtown. So if you set a high elevation difference, then you will find a lookout location that is higher. And the last one is also the most important one, is the location range. If you zoom out, you will see there are two circles. The inner circle is 20 kilometers. The 50 kilometer is the outer circle, and here means it's all 4 directions. And you can adjust here to maybe 10 kilometers, and if you take a look, you see the circle here is smaller. That means 10 kilometers. I think 10 kilometers should be a pretty nice minimum distance that we're looking for. But for the maximum distance, I'll set to 100 kilometers so that I can search for a large area of the map. So now I can tap to start. Wow, we found out 1,573 locations. Well, the number doesn't really matter here because the number of locations we have found depends on the granularity. If we search finer granularity, they got more results. So don't pay attention to this number, but pay more attention to the distribution of those green dots. Those green dots are the locations that you might see the downtown area. Now, to our surprise, you can see a bunch of them in the Berry Hill area and some dots over there, which means those probably are peaks somewhere behind. Also, a bunch of them from the north. There's some further on the east side. There's some hills over here, hills over there, and some bunch of hills over there. And then furthermore, there are more to the southeast of it, and even over there, just the north of Laguna Beach, you can also see some of the locations over here. And to your south of Torrance, you have bunch of area here. There is also a little area right in the middle, next to right in the middle. That's actually where the picture I took, I showed you earlier. I can let you take a look here. Maybe set something location, set the camera here, and I'll show you that. I'll make it to be 300. So here you go. This is downtown. This is slow-skipped mountain behind the downtown area. Very balanced composition, a very nice view. It's beautiful up there. That's how quick you can find locations like this one. But of course, that's not our goal. Our goal is find other locations that most people probably don't even know. For example, here, I'm pretty interested in some area over there near the Getty Museum. Over here, there's some mountains, layers of mountains. So I want to do a more detailed search in this area so that I can find locations I might shoot in the future. Here's a way to do a more detailed search. So if you just tap here, instead of selecting location range, the minimum distance, maximum distance, all the directions, of course you can set to to the west. You will search the area of the west of the Los Angeles, but there's a better way is just click on the visible area here. Just click that. Then you tap search. So then you will find all the location that is visible on the map. So that's give you a more detailed view of all the locations that you might have. And clearly you can see all this ridge where you can see, and here you can see that there's a trail right there. And chances are if you come in here, you will be able to see the Los Angeles Delta. So let's take a look. Here we go, it's right there. And you got another mountain behind that. So if you're further south of it, you might see the mountain just. So you got the downtown and another mountain right behind that. That's another way to find another vantage point, which is similar to the one I showed you earlier, but from a different angle. Yeah, I also found some location that is far away near the Getty Villa here, right over there. I was interested to see if I can see the downtown, maybe right over there. There's one there, the one over there. Let me take a look. Wow, you can. That's really far. And let's see how far it is from there. 30 kilometers away, the downtown area. Once you find a location that you are interested in, then you can start using the Sun Moon Finder to plan for future dates. To do so, you just swap down and select the Sun Moon Finder, and I search for the full moon. I tap here and select the range I want to have the full moon, the one result back. And what it look like. That's not that good because it's still daytime. Well, search for 5 years later. 3 results. This one is pretty good. 2027, February 21st. But 5 years later, you got a moon rise just above the downtown area. I can even zoom in more here. That's the power of this plan, where you can zoom in as many as you want. The moon rise just above the mountain over the Los Angeles downtown. Perfect. And that's the first demo. In the second demo, I will use San Francisco as an example. Let's see what are those high buildings in San Francisco. The tallest building is actually Salesforce Tower. The Sutro Tower is not tall, but is on top of a hill, so the total height is higher than Salesforce Tower. I'm thinking maybe I can put these two tall towers together in the same frame. Let's see how to do that. So first of all, let's click on this one, and I'll set this to be my camera location. No, I'm not gonna take a picture from there. You'll see why I'm doing this. The second thing is I'm gonna set my scene location as the Salesforce Tower. And let's see how the distance between the two locations, 6.22 kilometers away. Now, if I drag the map, you can see a gray line that extending the connection line between the camera and the subject. If I follow it all the way to here, there's some mountain area. If I can find locations, for example, right along this line, I will see Switcher Tower on top of the Salesforce Tower. That's my goal. To do so, I come in here, I just do a search. And here, target height 200 meters is fine, elevation difference 550 meters is also fine. Location range, no, I'm not going to use that range. I'll use the visible area instead. I just zoom in here so that I can have a detailed search in this area. Let me tap the search. Here we go, we found some area. There are two places here that is on the line, and here's another one here, and also some over there. I think all this will work. I can see there's not many tree blocking, so I just use this one first. Tap here, then take a look, see what it looks like. Interesting. You got. Let me zoom in a little bit here. So you got the Salesforce Tower and the Switcher Tower on top of that. Well, that's nice, but can we find sun or moon next to that? Well, we can do that. Let's see if it works. I'll search for the moon in this area. We got an 11 result back. Yeah, this one is pretty nice. June 3rd, 2023, you got a moon right there. Well, I'm thinking maybe I can move the moon a little bit to the left so that it's closer to these two towers. To do so, look at all those lookout locations. Maybe change it to over here. There's already a lookout location here, so this location definitely will work. Okay, looks like I moved too much. In that case, I will move down here. I think this location works pretty good. I got moon right there, the Switcher Tower on the top. The moon gonna pass through the Switcher Tower, then again pass through the Salesforce Tower, then set. Both tower, you got Bay Bridge, a light city view of the whole San Francisco downtown area. I like this composition. And the date is July 3rd, 2023. That's how easy it is to find a creative composition. In the next demo, let's move away from city. I will use the most iconic rock in California as an example. Yes, it is the Half Dome. It is said that you can see Half Dome from hundreds of miles away. Is that true? We'll find out today. The first step is put the scene location on top of Half Dome. Now, if we look at those parameters, the first parameter is the target height. You can't have 0 as a target height because if you have that, if you tap search, it'll tell you it cannot be 0. Reason for that is if we can see the 2/3 of the target, we think the lookout location is a valid one. So you cannot have 2/3 of 0, which doesn't make sense. I cannot have 100 meters or 200 meters that is counting on top of Half Dome. There's nothing on top of Half Dome, so you cannot have a positive value here either. What should you do then? Yes, the correct answer is you can set a negative value. It may sound weird that how the negative value works. Well, think about this way. You cutting the top part of the Half Dome off, then you put it back. So the part you cut off is your target. Then what's a good value for this negative number? We can estimate by checking the elevation difference between the valley and the Half Dome. For example, I can tap here, set this to my camera location, then I look at the elevation difference here, which is 900 meters. So maybe I put negative 200, 300, or 400, something like that as my target height. So let's do that. I'll use 300 for now. If that doesn't work out, can't find any location, if I find too many locations, I'll set later and set. So the next thing you see, there is a target size field that are coming out. There's ever see this field before for any positive target height. So why we have this? The reason is you got negative 300, which means the point you're looking at is actually inside the body of the half dome in the rock. If we scan through the elevation around it, of course it will be in the rock, so all the elevation will block the view. You will not get any result back in this situation. What we can do is we specify the target size. The target size means as long as the elevation or the point we're trying to scanning is inside this target, we don't think it is blocked. So let me set it and I'll show you what it looks like. So let's set to 50 first. If you zoom in, you will see a circle that is 50 meters in this red color. That doesn't help because it's still just only a tiny part of it. So I probably should have set a bigger radius so that it cover the whole half dome. So let's do that. Set to 2 kilometers and see. Yeah, that's pretty good. So you got the whole half dome covered. So that's the target size you should set. Every time is different. So you need to look at your situation and decide what's the value here. The next one is elevation different. That's the lookout elevation to the top of the half dome. And in this case, because the half dome, the elevation is very high, so you don't want to consider any elevation requirement here. So set to none. Next one is the location range. I'm not going to be interested in anything that's nearby in this area, so I'll set a pretty big minimum distance, maybe 80 kilometers. But for the further away, I'll set all the way to the maximum value allowed, which is 200 kilometers. And the direction, I will set to west. Doesn't matter if you look at it on the east side. Now, if you look at the range, you see this range right here. That's area that we want to find the lookout locations. Let's tap search. It is kind of slow because it searches a huge amount of data. Just give some patience until it's finished. Wow, yes, we got some result back. The most interesting area that I want to see is this area. So let me tap here and take a look. Well, there's a marker here. What is this marker? That's Lake Observatory, and this location is just next to it. And I actually noticed there is a peak right here. That's probably a good location if you want to see. But anyway, let's do another search. I'll use a visible area this time. So I'll focus in this area and I do another search. And that search will be pretty quick because the area is small here. You can see all the locations, and I just use this peak as an example here. Tap here. The distance to the half dome is 119 kilometers, which is 118 miles. Wow, how far is that? I'm eager to see what it's gonna be look like. Use maybe I don't know, 1800 millimeter. Here we go. I turn on the 3D in this case because that gives me more 3D details. And it's still kind of sketchy, but you can see this is a half dome. And this is probably the El Capitan rock. And here might be the cloud rest because cloud rest is actually taller than the half dome. Yes, you can see half dome from the Bay Area. That's from the Lake Observatory. Wow. That's a demo for today, and that's the end of this video tutorial. Try it in your city and see what you got. Email me or post on Instagram and tag us if you want us to see it. Thank you for watching. See you next time.